John, I have some concerning news. Mario is missing.
Well, where did he go?
No one knows. Man. He's just gone. Even though he's had 4 games on Switch 2 already, we have not had a mainline Mario yet. You probably have heard that, John, I assume.
Yeah, everywhere I look, I see his face.
Yeah, don't we all? Especially in the Mario 3 commercial, the camera zooming out, you see the whole Mario face. So yeah, John, this is actually kind of wild when you think about it. I mean, this isn't breaking news, obviously, and my talking flower is going off. He's alerted by this whole thing, too. But the thing is, we've never gone this long in a major console generation without either having a new 3D Mario or being aware of a 3D Mario. This is completely unprecedented on both fronts, because even in cases where we didn't have a new 3D Mario at launch, which has become partially, more of a trend, especially since the Wii era when Zelda kind of started taking over for that, we still generally knew about a new Mario either pre-launch or around the launch period, and they would come out at the latest a year later. We are now at that year mark, John. Still no sign of a 3D Mario at all. At all. The closest thing we've had, of course, is DK Bonanza, but that's very much a, different type of game with Donkey Kong rather than a Mario game, even if it's by a lot of the members of the same team, and even the same team to a degree. So, John, on the surface, what do you make of this?
It's very interesting. I'm sure a lot of people, they view Donkey Kong Bonanza as like the Mario replacement, obviously because it has the same a lot of developers. It has a little bit of Mario influence with having Pauline in it. It's just like they probably think that's the holdover, but I think there's more to it than that. I think that's just kind of like the base idea. I think they may have stated, I wasn't 100% sure, that it was 2 different teams. Or like a subsector of the team.
I don't know if they specifically stated that, but we do know that some key staff members are oddly missing from Bonanza as compared to the typical Mario team. So the idea seems to be that there is another team working on Mario, likely at the same time as DK Bonanza is in development.
Yeah. So I think there's a bit more going on there, and one thing that we've noticed throughout especially this year, is a business word, a favorite business word, synergy. We've gotten synergy with Star Fox and the Mario Galaxy movie. We've gotten Galaxy content with the Mario Galaxy movie, like the Mario Galaxy content that just dropped on the Mario Tennis thing, which that looks super fun, by the way. I need to try it out.
It's good. Yeah.
And so it's like the Star Fox, like that helped. I think that helped really launch Star Fox into a higher state that it's almost never been in like ages. And I think they want to do the same thing for the next Mario movie, because what would happen to Mario if they went with a banger of a movie? Like, it would just be unstoppable.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting on a banger of a movie for the second one.
That performs very well.
Yeah, right. It performed very well. There's no denying that. Yeah, I do want to circle back to the Galaxy stuff, because that is kind of interesting for a couple of reasons, I suppose. But I think one key takeaway from me here is that it's interesting that Mario used to be the tentpole of Mario. Like, you needed that Mario game there, at least to assure the audience. And it seems like that's no longer the case. And that says less about Mario and more about how diversified Nintendo is these days. Like, you don't need to have, a mainline Mario there at launch. Now, we should obviously clear up or specify that they had a Mario Kart at launch, so Mario adjacent titles, and there have been many other Mario titles already on Switch 2 even, but not that mainline Mario. So I think that's interesting, because you have all these like Mario spin-off games that are essentially their own series as well. I just find that fascinating that they can rely on those and other IP, including possibly seemingly Donkey Kong these days, which has become, has been returning to the limelight, partially through the movies, as you were saying. And I just think that's really interesting to see that, yeah, we don't need to know about that next Mario, whereas, with a Switch reveal, they teased Mario in that one. And again, no sign of him here as a mainline game. So yeah. Now, getting back to your Galaxy point, this whole thing's been suspicious for me, because the thing is, like, it's Mario's 40th anniversary this year, right? They've been making a big deal about it, but I think as a celebration of Mario, it's been bad. It's been not a great celebration of Mario because it's been more of a celebration of Mario Galaxy. No, I love Mario Galaxy, so like I'm not upset by this. It just feels weird if you're celebrating your main character. Why are you focusing so much on a game that's just half the age of the rest of the series? You know, it's Mario Galaxy is only 20 years old, but we've had the movie now, we've had the games. They even call the movie the tentpole or like something like, you know, the main release of the year for the anniversary. But we've had the re-release of the games on Switch 1 and Switch 2. We've had the Mario Tennis content, or the Mario Tennis Galaxy content now, which is super recent. And it's all adding up, you know, and you mentioned Synergy earlier, it's all adding up to make me think, are we going back to Mario Galaxy for the next mainline game? And I know, like, I've seen a lot of varied opinions about this online, which I'll get to, but I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. Like, do you think that they are actually building up to something greater, or is it just because of the movie that they're using that to kind of, like, market the rest of the games now?
Nintendo loves to surprise and delight, and oddly enough, going back to a series would indeed surprise and delight, mostly because the planet concept still has a lot to work with, and you know, they probably have a lot more experience now since they've done Odyssey and a lot more experimental ideas with that. And that's the thing, is the Mario team's obsessed with just trying new, and so that could both work against and for Galaxy.
Yeah, that's the thing I've heard online is like, well, I want, you know, and I kind of understand this to a degree because one of my favorite things about Mario is that I like when they do something new. And one of the concerns is that, well, we've done Mario Galaxy twice now. You know, why go back to that? Well, I want something new from Mario. But my counterpoint is something you were just saying. I feel like there's so much untapped potential with Galaxy that they can easily make it feel like a whole new type of gameplay within still, you know, like the planet idea. Like, there's nothing about the planet idea that restricts you from doing other things too. And I think to that point, like, we've already seen this to a degree with Mario Galaxy 2. Nintendo rarely makes a direct follow-up to their games, but they had so many ideas for the first game alone they weren't able to capitalize on, that they were able to use those for the second one, and they're still within the constraints of the Wii hardware. So imagine them on much more powerful hardware now, a decade, 2 decades now plus of like development experience and potential ideas for games they could easily merge with, you know, the whole space idea. And, you know, I feel like I could sit here and easily come up with, you know, rattle off a ton of ideas like within the idea of Mario Galaxy that they haven't done yet. Like, one idea I mentioned before is like, when I have like a cool like asteroid belt, you have to like hop from planet, you know, or after the asteroid, you know, as you make your way to the end or the boss or whatever, or like have more orbiting physics. Like, one of the things in Mario Galaxy is all the levels are stationary, but if you actually had objects like moving around each other or something, you take that into account. Like, there's so much you can do. Like, even I'm just barely scratching the surface of what they could explore. So is that enough though, John? Or yeah, go ahead.
Like, imagine mixing portals into the mix or something, like portals with gravity. That would be very intensive for some very creative level design.
Oh man, that'd be crazy. Like, I would love that idea. Like, I've always thought there's more you could, like, I love Portal, the series as well, and I've always felt there's even more you could do with that series outside of like the puzzle genre, and I would love to see Mario like dabble in that, even if it's not like giving you direct control of the portals. Like, just having that element there could be something. But yeah, I mean, you could take what we know of Galaxy and just add in another mechanic on top of it. Like, you could, you know, for instance, you could have made a Mario Odyssey within Mario Galaxy. Like, there's nothing about Galaxy that stops you from doing other things too, you know? That's the thing.
I would love that for the movement alone, because I'll be honest, Mario Galaxy's movement was a bit limiting, but I felt like it was purposely designed that way. Because like, they wanted to keep it simple and straightforward for people who may not be like super experienced, while taking on a whole new concept of like the 3D space of gravity.
Like, I'm almost picturing now, like, what if you could fly yourself between like the planets? Like, you have like a jetpack now or something, right? And
ooh, a jetpack would be sick.
Would be sick, right? Like, there's so much potential. I mean, for me, like, arguing that they've already done Mario Galaxy, so why do it again? It'd be like saying, you know, if they, for instance, if Mario Odyssey has been rebranded as Mario 64 too, but that's effectively what it is. You know, it's Mario 64 on a larger scale, just with, you know, the capture mechanic. Would people have been upset by that too? Like, I think there's so much, like, I think people are just getting hung up on the potential branding of it and not thinking of that doesn't limit them to what they can do in it.
Yeah.
There's, you know, because again, Mario Odyssey is basically just a bigger 64 with capture mechanics.
Yeah. Like, totally, Mario Odyssey was like a celebration of the Mario 64 gameplay style, and I could see them doing something that's in essence a celebration of the Galaxy style. which, like you said, has endless possibilities, which I think is a Sonic song. So convenient. So that's funny, but yeah. So like, there's that. But I also want to reflect. They want to do something new as well, and that could be a chance of something new, but that also makes that extremely unpredictable. Like, I don't think I could have predicted how Odyssey would be before it came out, and so we have this thing. Maybe it could be a little bit of both, like, because like you were saying, it's like Odyssey is a celebration of it, but it adds a capture mechanic, which is no small feat. So they could have the Galaxy stuff as a baseline, but then add something on top of it.
Right, exactly.
That just no one would think of and be like, whoa, this is awesome to do in a 3D space. This is awesome to platform with Mario.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to be clear. I love Mario Galaxy. I'm not married to the next one being a third one. I just wouldn't be disappointed by that, you know. But I'm also totally fine if they do want to do something entirely different, keep it, you know, more grounded, a la Odyssey, for instance, or whatever it ends up being. I mean, I think there's probably gameplay possibilities we're not even imagining. Like, you know, perhaps like an even clearer marriage of like 2D and 3D. There's probably more interplay you could do there. Mario Odyssey flirted with the idea with those awesome 2D segments that took place on, like, you know, 3D structures. Like, there's probably a lot more within that you could do that would be amazing, you know. And
you know what, to try a new subject for a little bit, if you don't mind me. This should be a short one. So we've had the remake of Star Fox. We've had the remake of Legend of Zelda. And I know there might be remake fatigue, but I would really like a Mario 64 like remake. I want to see that concept looking beautiful. Like, it's always been played well, but I want it to look as much as I wish it could. And it's never really had that. Like, even on the DS, it never really like pushed the limits to, like, imagine seeing the grassy fields actually be grassy. Like, imagine something that looks better than Mario Odyssey, but with the Mario 64 like gameplay style and story and all that stuff. Like, that would be a delight. I know it's mixed feelings.
Yeah,
we've
like the child part of me that still exists is like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Let me relive that game with like amazing visuals and like an expanded story. But then the brain part of me, you know, is like, I mean, I played this game again 1 billion times. I know it like the back of my hand. I don't hate the idea of them revisiting Mario 64. I don't want it to be a remake. What I would love is if they took the idea and expanded it. Like, they actually flirted with this idea of Mario Galaxy 2, where you could go back to a Mario 64 level being Thwomp's Fortress, but it had, you know, things had changed a little bit. It'd been, you know, a decade later or whatever, or 15 years later, whatever. And I think that has a possibility. Like, what if, for instance, you know, with how small the levels were originally, what if now we could go beyond the boundaries of those original stages? And now, like, what we knew about Battlefield is now just a small part of a much bigger stage. And now, like, you know, things have changed. It's been 20 years. Maybe King Babam came back and actually did take it over again, or something. Or maybe a new clan came in and took it over. Whatever it is. You know, add new paintings around the castle. Like, I think that would be interesting. Use Mario 64 as a base and you build upon it.
I think there's a conflict of probably their internal team, because they love to be respectful and faithful to their material. But I would love to see them do something of like a second quest or expansion. Like, you do the first stars and then like the world becomes expanded. And like, so you still get that authentic experience with the first 6 or 7 stars. I forget how many there are.
7.
And 7.
Or
and
in
like,
each level, 120 in total. Yeah.
Yeah. And then with, once you do that, the world could expand.
Do you know what game did that expansion concept already, John?
Sunshine?
No. Ukulele.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Then they ditched it for the sequel, where it starts off at the default size. So
yeah, so that does. I don't know. So yeah, it leaves me with feelings. I think they would, from what I've seen, they like to be faithful. So sadly, I think they would stick mostly to what's that. But if they could do something like a second quest or a master quest version where everything has become completely different. Completely remixed.
Yeah, completely different. Yeah, Master Quest almost undersells, I think, what you're going for. Like, yeah, if it's very different, I'm fine with it. Like, as long as it feels different, I think that has potential.
But they would still have the original version. Like, I could see those as 2 separate things. Like I said, that's why I call it a Master Quest. It's like you can select that right from the start.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. I want them to go all in. I want them to feel locked in on like if they're committing to expanding 64, I think it shouldn't pretend to be a repeat of the original. It should be aiming to use it as a base for something new, in my opinion. But I respect what you think. It's just like I'm just experiencing remake fatigue right now. So like use it as a base, that's fine, but do something new with it. But they can add new levels to the mix as well. Like maybe have like, I don't know, you could repeat the story point, having Peach's castle like ripped into the sky. So maybe you have to use the paintings in order to like reach these more conventional areas. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some ideas here, but all I know is whatever form this ends up taking. Oh, actually, you know what? The one thing they haven't really fully explored is like a truly open Mario game. They flirted with the idea in 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. The Bowser's Fury.
I bet you that's probably the next direction. I bet you that is.
Which actually is a little bit closer to your world expanding idea, but that actually did kind of do that too, where worlds appear out of the ground as you progress through the adventure. It's hard to say whether that's the direction Mario should go or not, but I do think there is intrigue with that idea. And I will say the one thing I just really want to see, John, is I want to see a fully realized Toad Town. Like the Mario movie finally gave us like an idea of how that could be, because like it's like, oh, they actually thought this out. This is how they fleshed out Mario Kingdom, and the RPGs have given us a bit of that too. I want to see that within the context of a Mario game. Like I want a fully realized 3D town. You see Toads running around doing their thing, maybe getting power-ups. I don't know what it is, but like I would love to see that. Like I want to have areas I feel like I'm exploring, and I think open world could maybe be a way of going about it. And maybe
and
you
Andre,
Andre,
I think a gimmick idea that you would probably love is get around in this new environment. You'll get a plethora of vehicles, maybe something akin to Nuts and Bolts.
or Mario Kart World. You get a cart in to drive around.
Yeah.
You are making me think though, like what if there were ways to restrict you? Like what if this is a Mario game where Mario can't jump initially, like he gets cursed or something, and you unlock throughout the course of the game the ability to jump higher and higher, or maneuvers related to that,
skill trees in Mario.
I don't know if I want skill trees necessarily, but I think maybe some form of progression beyond just collecting stars. That could have potential, or maybe equipment you can get that enhances your stats, like the RPGs.
Yeah, exponential growth. I could see that being interesting, where you can start off and then it would then create you can reach to greater heights essentially.
Right, exactly.
But how would a open world Mario game really work? We definitely had a taste of it, but how could something on a grander scale, how could you prevent yourself from being fatigued from walking back to places? How could you prevent how could you make things interesting in between the big areas? What can you do? What they had in Mario Fury, Bowser's Fury is the Dory section, so they had something fast and engaging in between the areas.
Yeah, I think, maybe to your point, like having a vehicle of some kind, or, Yoshi, maybe a quicker Yoshi or whatever. Maybe Yoshi's got, he's got permanent hot pepper running stats in this one. Who knows what it is? But yeah, I don't think, when I say open world, I'm not envisioning something a la Breath of the Wild, where it's miles between, landmarks or, key points. I think what I'm basically picturing is you take the worlds they've already built, like in Mario Odyssey, just put them next to each other, and bam, they all look very distinct. It's not a gigantic world, but it's big enough that it feels sizable, and maybe you gate off some areas with whatever it is, like maybe physical gates, or lava, and you need something to get rid of the lava, for instance. But yeah, I feel like it can be done, and I don't know. Again, it's hard to say. It's something that sounds good on paper. It could be horrible in practice. But I just feel like if Nintendo figured it out for Zelda, I feel like they could probably figure it out for Mario too. But I do think the key thing would be that allowing you to get around quickly. Not having a lot of having a lot of barriers in the way of getting back to your previous area. I think that'd be important. I think warp pipes would be the way to do it. Maybe give you a an instant pipe you carry around with you, just drop in the ground, you hop out whenever you want. So
yeah. And Nintendo's been doing a lot of experimental differences in sizes of games, how big they are, how much is to it.
Yeah.
Maybe to fill in the void, they could get some other company that or another development studio that has experience in 3D platforming to make something smaller and a little bit more different and ambitious with like a unique idea to fill in the gaps before the next big release.
So are you thinking of a possibility that we may not see the next 3D Mario soon?
I'm saying like we may see a 3D Mario, but it might be a little bit different. It might be shorter. It might be experimental.
See, we already had that with Bowser's Fury. I don't think it happens again. So I think the next time we see 3D Mario is going. I think we will see 3D Mario within the next year. At least be announced. I don't think DK Bonanza took up the entire development staff. But maybe it is taking it more than I assumed, and maybe like now that they're getting its full power, of the remaining staff, now that they're freed up, maybe it is a little bit farther off than I thought. But I think at the least we'll see it within this next year. Maybe it gets pushed to 2028, which would be crazy though by Nintendo standards. If we don't get it within the first 2 years, like that's kind of wild, or within that 2-year mark. In any case, all I know, John, is I'm stoked for it. Like. And that's why I'm a little hesitant in that I'm a little fearful or concerned that, like, with it being basically 10 years since Odyssey, it's like, man, I really hope this game delivers. Because if it under-delivers, that's going to be disappointing after such a long wait. But it's also like, maybe they're really cooking up something amazing here, like they typically do.
Probably why it's taking so long is they really want to make sure it exceeds the expectations of Odyssey.
Yeah. Some of my favorite games of all time are Mario related, so I'm really hoping that they nail it because I'm excited for it. So, John, anything else about Mario you want to mention here? 3D Mario?
Let's see. 3D Mario. We're not going to see a Sunshine 2.
What about, could we see a Mario 64 2? Or at least the idea of having co-op there with Luigi or something?
Oh, man.
They've never done that, 3D-wise. Besides 3D World, I mean, yeah.
They've always wanted to do that. They always wanted, and I always hate that no 3D Mario has a proper 2 equal grounds co-op, like, except for 3D World. Yep. But I don't even consider that, like, because that's, I call that, like, an isometric Mario.
Yeah, it's almost 2.5D style Mario, yeah.
And I would love if they could finally fulfill that idea. If that was the main way to change up Mario 64, if they called it Mario and Luigi 64, and then they added like a lot more co-op stuff to it, that would be awesome. Maybe
we're cooking now, John. We might be on to something here. They can even bring in elements of Mario 64 DS, with you having 4 characters. Maybe 4-player co-op. Bring Wario back into the main line.
Yeah, like I love the battle mode in the DS version.
That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, right there with you. All right, well, I have to wrap up now. So I think we covered it pretty well. Those are our thoughts. I just wanted. This obviously isn't a time sensitive discussion, but I've had the thought recently with like all the Mario Galaxy collaborations, or synergy, along with the fact that we've reached a point now where we've never had this before with a primary Nintendo console of a generation, with having a 3D Mario. It's like, this is kind of crazy. We're in unprecedented times. I'm excited to see what form it ends up taking, if it ever comes, John. How crazy would it be if there's just no 3D Mario this generation?
I think that's impossible, but nothing's impossible, right?
Not with Nintendo. That's it. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you think of this. And yeah, when you're expecting 3D Mario, what you're expecting of it or hoping for, and will you be disappointed if it's Galaxy 3? With everyone, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. Bye.
See ya.